these weeks because we're welcoming Carla Donnelly from the law firm Gentile, Horho, and Avali. Good morning.
Good morning.
We're talking divorce. You want to
Sh-
just slide right into that?
Sure.
All right. So I said to you as we came in the door today, I said, I literally went to bed. I was just exhausted and exhausted because from the year prior, for what we set up for people that were thinking and planning, and people do plan in divorce, and then this new onslaught of all of this other minutia that's going on, I was just exhausted.
I can understand that.
We all in this, it's just this time of year
The
people
time of
don't,
year.
yeah, they don't understand that for us, but we live and breathe the cases with our clients. So when we put that together, it takes a toll on us. There was one night this week, I swear, just walking in the house and dragging myself up the steps was like all that I could possibly do to get up there. And then it was funny because you said I got into bed, then you couldn't sleep.
Yes.
I didn't have that problem.
No.
I was out. So, any changes that we need to be aware of? Because usually at the top of the year, there might be a this or a that. Anything we need to tell the listeners out there?
For once, there are no changes in the law. That the last year we had the big change, which was that starting the first of last year, January 1st, 2019, alimony was no longer tax deductible. That stayed the same, but nothing else has changed.
So, yeah, people had to navigate through that piece. Um, what are you seeing when it comes to divorce? People are always asking me, is it calming down on those waters, or more people trying to mediate the divorce, or are they still trying to litigate it? Um, I kind of got a whole mixture in my pot, but let's take it from your perspective.
Well, it's January.
Hmm.
January brings the we've just ended a lot of marriages. I think I did about 5 or 6 decrees in December because people often hold their cases till the end of the year to keep the health insurance going for the other party till the end of the year. So we get a lot of people divorced in December, and this year we had an early start to the January divorce season. I started getting calls on December 26th. I got 2 calls on December 26th for new divorces. And usually it starts sometime in January. All of a sudden we get a rush. This year it started in December, late December. And what I am hearing more and more are people who come in, want to get divorced, but they don't want to uh, it out in court. They don't want to spend the money to fight in court. Some people do. Don't get me wrong. There's still many people who do, or many people who have to because they have no other choice. But there's a growing number of people who come in and use the word mediation. And I'm listening. Like I hear that. And I had been trained as a mediator a long time ago. And I back in November I took a second class in mediation, 3 8-hour days of mediation as a refresher class because I'm going to now do a lot more mediation. I'm going to serve as the mediator in some cases. And I also encourage my existing clients to do mediation. If we have to fight it in court, I can fight like the rest of them. And but that's not needed in every case. Sometimes an amicable resolution is what a family needs, and not only because it's less costly, but it mediated resolutions are more likely to be abided by than if it gets, the court makes a decision, nobody likes it, and it kind of gets shoved down everybody's throats. That you're more likely that somebody's not going to follow it.
Well, I think that since I've been preaching all of these years, people always wanted to have they wanted to be validated. And the only way they could get validated in this divorce world was to let the judge hear it. I mean, that was the ultimatum, right? The
Right.
ultimate thing was to get to the judge so that the judge could see my point where I'm right and you're wrong.
And that does never happens. I mean, shouldn't say never, but it's so rare that there's vindication in the courthouse because the judge doesn't usually take one person's side over the other. This is not guilty, not guilty, like it is in a criminal case, and you get a mixed result, and it's a tough pill to swallow, and then there's nowhere to go from there because it's been handed to you, and that's what you're left with.
Well, it's funny because logging the miles and talking and preaching divorce for all these years, I've often said you're just not going to get to that point. You just don't get to file and then walk in. There's so many multiple layers that have to happen, and judges, their 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 logs are full, and so they look for other people to get to step in to help them along the way. And people don't understand that process of it. By the time you file for divorce, and if you think you're going to see the judge in 6 months,
No.
no, even if you wait your year, right?
Right.
Wait out your year, and you think, okay, I did what I was supposed to do, and let me get in there. It's just not going to work the way you think it is. We also have to look at the fact, and I want to dispel that in divorce, my famous line is, you'll come up and tell me what you got and how this attorney was so great and got me this and got me that. Don't tell me that. Tell me what you didn't get. And because I know for a fact you didn't walk away with everything. And the one case that I had with an attorney that the client did get everything. I mean, it was just a complete surrender on the husband's side. I said, "Take it all. I don't care. I'll start it over. I got to get rid of this, the stress and the cost of this divorce. Take it all right here." And it still wasn't good enough because it was back on her emotional piece. So she didn't get to everything.
Right. Right.
And yet people can't understand that.
The good thing about resolving it is you can focus on what you really want, because sometimes you win and you get wins in court that weren't your priority.
And you're correct. What you get because somebody else is giving it to you also scares you.
Right.
Because did I really want that? Was I really fighting for that? Now you got it. I don't want it.
Right.
So I try to tell people do what you can with what's in your control, when it's in your control. Because walking through a courtroom, it's game over. It's a
Exactly.
game changer for you. And you see that because I know they put a lot of stress, clients put a lot of stress on you. Go get me this, go get me that. And did you ever find out you get them that? And what happens when it's not what they wanted?
It's never enough.
Ah, there
Yeah.
you go. There's the next piece to it. Let me give everybody a couple phone numbers here. I am the divorce reality expert, as everybody knows. And Carla Donnelly is in the office in the studio with me, and her office is in downtown Pittsburgh, but you also have one in Cranberry. So
Correct.
your two locations. They can reach you at 412-261-9900. That's 412-261-9900, and they can schedule both
Both
locations
offices, absolutely.
from there. Divorce Reality Expert is me. You can reach me, divorcerealityexpert.com, 412-996-3346.
This week, Nan Cohen Total Talk. So let's get right back to it, Nan.
Okay, so Carla says to me at break, you will fire me up and I'll look at the camera and get all animated. I'm going to talk to you because I think that from where we stand, again, and I'm going to put it out there. You're the attorney. I'm the divorce reality expert. I do the coaching. I do the consulting with the attorneys. It's a team. It's a team. As we've put forth some teams, a lot towards this end of the year. There's moving pieces into a divorce.
Right.
It's just not me in the divorce you need. It's just not you in the divorce that we put it all together. But as we all meet and we all talk, I've seen more. They're going to get mad at me on this, but here's the truth. I've seen more people lose focus on what's important when you're divorcing, and that to me is the ultimate, the kids.
Well, yeah, I think that people do get sidetracked. Gary Gentile used to say, you're on 79 North going to Erie, don't get off at the Wexford exit.
How about that? How about that? I- Seriously, you see how I can get animated?
Yeah.
We've talked, and so much of the stuff, do they not think the kids are part of? How many times do we hear, "Oh, the kids don't know. The kids don't know anything's going on in the house,"
Oh, the
right?
kids know.
I tell them that from they can be toddlers, they sense. They can be 10, 12, 16, 18. And when you're lucky enough to get to the 35, 40-year-olds, they're like, "Gee, Nan, I don't know why we didn't take care of this a long time ago. Why? They were staying together in this circus for us?" You know, they get it. Kids get it. But lately, so short sighted of me and my, those words that I hear constantly have enough to get, they just make my blood curl.
Yeah, I think, well, I see one extreme or the other where people come in and they're so focused on the kids, that my kid, and they don't realize that the child has another parent, or they are so focused on just the anger and the emotion of the divorce that they don't even mention that they have kids until I ask
You're
or I see it on their intake sheet.
you're absolutely correct. So Carla's going to be with us here in the studio um, in a couple weeks, and in another couple weeks she's going to make you're going to be here more actively. And when we talk about these things, that's the first thing that gets me going with the blood pressure rising. The second part of it is in a marital estate. Isn't it funny when we're married and we're living together and everything is copacetic and this is going here, that's going there, but we talk about divorce, all of a sudden we're running for our pieces. And no one's entitled to anything but what you are. Pensions, retirement plans, 401k. Well, I put more in. And you know what? That all comes out at the end. But are you hearing a lot about that?
Well, I mean,
They stand their ground.
yes, people do stand their ground, and I think it's natural, and it's my job to educate the client. It's my job to people come in first consultation, they're upset, and it's my job to be factual about the law, educate people about the law, and start planting the seeds of compromise or fight, depending on you know how situated they come in. But it's so scary, it's so daunting, and I think it's a natural reaction to want to grab for things because you're afraid. And so I feel like part of my job is when people come in is to educate them, realize they have rights, and 9 times out of 10 somebody will walk out of a consultation and say, I feel so much better. I feel so relieved because they're probably in their mind spiraling about how bad this could be when it's probably not as bad as they think it is. Sometimes it's not as good as they think it is.
That's very well said there. Very well said. And for people thinking all the time that, everything is a 50-50 in a marriage, it's not 50-50. I always say to people, we're an equitable distribution state, and equitable doesn't always mean equal.
Equitable means fair. The problem is your definition of fair and their definition of fair are two different things.
Correct. But you're going to have to step down and say, listen, for the person that thinks they're going to go through divorce and be in control, you're going to learn a lot real quick. Um, short-sightedness is when people want to stand their ground and fight it out. That's where you're going to end up and spend a lot of money to realize that spouse is entitled to XYZ. So that's not going to change.
Right.
So we're either going to get you on board or we're not. I think we're going to get into certain pods of divorce. And for anybody out there thinking, hey, we've held it together, we got through the holidays, I just can't do it, or for whatever reason. Listen, I'm not here to blow fairy dust. I do think that divorces are inevitable in cases, but I think a lot of times we can work through it. And I say to myself, you want to get divorced for this. So and we always make sure that the divorce is needed in the case. I do what I do. I'm Nan Cohen, the divorce reality expert. You can reach me at 412-996-3346. Carla Donnelly, you can reach her at Gentile Jorge Anavali at 412-261-9900. Carla, give them your website.
GHA-lawfirm.com.
So either one of us reach out. If you're struggling, you're in that, I just got to get some information, reach out. We'll get you taken care of.
We will.
Good?
Good.
Carla will be back in just a couple weeks.
Hey, good job, guys. Have a great day, okay?